I think people who have children and become parents should be required go through some kind of parent training for at least a couple of weeks or even months. I know it can sound demanding and somewhat unrealistic, but think about how important it is and how much impact it has throughout their lives. I'm actually surprised we don't already have such a thing. I think people who have children and become parents should be required go through some kind of parent training for at least a couple of weeks or even months. I know it can sound demanding and somewhat unrealistic, but think about how important it is and how much impact it has throughout their lives. I'm actually surprised we don't already have such a thing. If you're anything like me, I'm sure you found yourself at one point or another in this endless loop of work and play week after week. And it gets to the point where how all the mess is, how we weird ourselves after a tough week at work. And what happens? We become nearsighted. We forget how to be ambitious with our goals and with our lives. We allow others to determine our limits, and we learn to accept them. We learn to quit. We grow this mindset where coming to terms with our misery and complaining is a lot easier than struggling for a better life. Yesterday, I was at a coffee shop and I was having a cup of coffee, minding my own business, when I started to get distracted by a conversation that was having at another table. At another table, there was a group of young men. There must have been 5 or 6 of them. If I were to guess, they were teenagers. Anyway, you would think they would be careful, they'll be careful in public place like that about describing about the movies, but they seemed too overheated to care. I mean, I was lucky I had already seen the movie. Otherwise, it would have completely ruined the movie for me. So please be careful. You haven't seen the movie yet and planning to. Just if you happen to hear anything that sounds remotely related to the movies, just shut your ears and get out of there. Yesterday, I was at a park with my dog and I got into conversation with this stranger. And I noticed that he used the English word treat instead of kanshik, which immediately caught my attention because it wasn't one of those English words that is typically used with Korean. That alone was pretty clear indication he had a certain level of comfort with English language. I put together the list of things we need to do this week. I tried to include everything we discussed in the morning. But if you think we need something more, please let me know. Well, by the looks of it, I think we can up and running by the 7th. What do you think? The 7th, give or take a shoot, give or take a day, sure. Well, of course, we can run into, we can have some troubles, but we can run into we can jump in a road and there is nothing we can't handle. I honestly used to think voice phishing was really stupid. And I used to think, how can someone fall for something like that? But after experiencing it myself, I can say one thing to hear about happening to others is whole nother thing to have it happen to you. And it not changed the way how I think about voice phishing. It completely changed the way how I handled my private information online. Bye.